my boy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have my phone off.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're good. I just haven't brought our faces up.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. All right, there we go. So what's up? This is the Tiddlecast, episode 2. I am Joel Benavides, and this is
Ray, Chomp in the house with the background.
Ray Chomp. We're in space.
What is it between heaven and hell? It's purgatory. I'm in purgatory right now.
It's a pretty nice purgatory, man.
Here's hell, here's heaven. I know. I
was noticing that last time. I was like, man, that's a really cool background he's got. He's kind of right in the middle, and I knew it had there, and there was a halo. I was like, oh, dude, with this dude, there's a religious reference.
Honestly, there wasn't. I just thought it was literally the first one I picked that didn't look like because some of them, the backgrounds, they have like a kitchen from the 50s or some shit. Like they have weird ass backgrounds. So this is the only one that didn't look like a Hallmark card, you know?
Yeah. Well, I like it. Fucking.
So what's up, man? What you been up to?
Not a lot since we last spoke. Just work and reading this audio book, man. Reading La Santa Muerte by Tomás Prower. So I don't know if he's like one of those if he's like one of those white guys that moved to Mexico, or but his first name is Tomás, so it's like he might be like
is that how he pronounces it?
I don't know. And just reading it as best as I can pronounce it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
so what's the book about? Enlighten me.
Well, so the book is divided into 2 parts. It's basically the story, the history, the description, everything else, right? And then the second part, I didn't know this when I bought it, but was actually like a magical book, with magical spells and stuff like that are used. Now, I don't know if this guy took an anthropological approach to his research for the book, but it seems that way. But then towards the end, he admits that he himself is a devotee of the Holy Death cult, or the Santa Muerte cult. But yeah, man, it was an interesting read. I was kind of disappointed when I found out that the second half of the book was magical spells, but I listened to some of it, and it's interesting. I had a personal experience with the Rosicrucian organization years ago, and so it's very similar. In the book, he refers to it as the Santa Muerte Mystery School, right? And I had heard that phrase before, mystery school, but I just don't I thought it was a misuse until I started reading the procedures that they have when they do their rituals and stuff like that. So it's very reminiscent of those types of rituals that take place within secret societies, the Masons, the Rosicrucians. So yeah, I mean, but most of it was kind of dry. Honestly, I had doubts bringing it up. I just thought it would be interesting to talk about it from an academic point of view. Just
So the video that you sent me and the little bit I read from comments, and then if you look in the comments, there's always links to shit. But from what I saw, it just seems like it's, at least the way the clip made it out to be, was the Catholic outcasts, the homosexuals, because in Mexico that shit is not chill on any level in the religious sense. They don't Christians, because Catholics and Christians, to me it's the same thing, because they believe Jesus came back and all that stuff. So to me, any form of believing Jesus is the Son of God, to me that's just kind of Christianity.
Yeah.
But so to me, it's these people are rejecting that and just going after this one saint, right?
Right.
Because
they're
this saint
deifying the saint. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. In the video, they're giving it offerings the first day of every month. They're giving it offerings weed and cigarettes and some some woos, some
Well, as
booze, some
part of
woo-
my research for this, right, because I took it seriously, I went to, and I posted this on our
Hey,
story. I went
Big
to
Daddy.
Is your boy up or something?
No, I was saying calling you Big Daddy. You did your research. You did
Yeah,
some footwork,
yeah.
baby.
I did do a little footwork. I did do.
Hey, Dada, he's doing big shit, everybody.
Well, I was like, you know what, we're low on incense. I need to go like the neighborhood like witchcraft store, Mexican witchcraft store, to go
Santeria.
refill, Santeria or whatever, like it's like the Aztec religion, this one place we go to. But so I went to this other one called La Fe, and there's kind of a local legend about La Fe, right? I somebody told me, it was kind of like I heard this from somebody kind of story. Somebody told me a story about this place. I had already been to this place like many times before, but they said, yeah, a few years ago, that place came out in the news because a woman had parked. This is hearsay, so I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just saying that this is what I heard. Two women had pulled up to that place and parked, and one woman got off, and another woman stayed in the car, and the woman took a long time. So finally, the woman that was in the car got out of the car, went inside, looked for her friend, didn't find her friend, and then she was like, hey, I had a friend that came in here about 45 minutes ago or however long it was, and they were like, no, nobody like that ever came in. And like it was like the chick vanished off the face of the earth. Now I looked for this story like probably about 4 years after it happened, couldn't find anything. But yeah, I don't know. Like I looked for keywords. I don't know if I was just searching wrong or if like the local news channels didn't archive it well. I'm not sure. But so this could be like total bullshit. But I thought it was interesting, and I always got a vibe from that place. Honestly, I don't want to say good. I don't want to say bad. Just. I don't know. I mean, it could be the fact that you're in a witchcraft store and, those psychological elements are kicking in. You know what I mean? But that one more than any of the other ones, because I've been to about 4 of them here in town. And that one more than any just has a vibe, man. It like kind of like a portal.
Like an uneasy kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe uneasy or to be cautious, but not evil. Just a vibe, just off.
Yeah. Do you believe in like witchcraft and?
Yes, but yes and no, right? Like, so I don't believe the dogma behind it. I believe that it can be used as a technology, as a like what would you call it? Like an archetype to build like basically whatever quantum psychic ESP type ability our brain has. You know what I mean?
It's almost like for some people their gift is piano. Some people their gift is, they can kill a bunch of people after they got covered in pig's blood. It's a Carrie reference. Went like this.
Carrie, yeah. I did go, oh, sorry, dude.
I'm like, dude, you're older than me, dog. Like, how do you not know what movie I'm referencing?
Because you go deep.
Dude, that's the main scene from Carrie. I can tell my wife to come in here right now, and I can say that line, and she'd say, oh, that's Carrie.
Like, I was a cafeteria 80s movie watcher. You know what I mean? Like a cafeteria Catholic, like I was a cafeteria. So like I do have like, grounds to reference like Top Gun and freaking Lost
you were like
Boys.
A good Catholic boy.
Yeah. I was pretty vanilla.
You were that one kid, man. I went to Christian school and there was always like the couple kids that, and I'm not disparaging or talking
true
shit,
believers.
but
True believers.
But going to school, these kids would like fall down shaking during like praise and worship and talking tongues and all that stuff. And that freaked me the fuck out. But the people that were doing it seemed like they were doing something. So I just kind of stepped back. But I remember seeing that a lot. I was like, man, this is fucking weird. Because I see this kid or this girl, whoever, is like falling down on the floor, crying and telling people we need to do better with our lives and doing a fucking altar call and all that shit. And then, I hear on the weekend. She's like, well, I'm still a virgin. I just let him fuck me in the ass. Like,
Oh my God, dude.
or doing,
yeah, dude,
or
a
doing
lot of
coke.
that kind of shit goes on in Christian schools, dude. Like, you're not the first person I've heard that from.
But it's like it's rampant, dude. Like it's almost like if you look up, I forget the term. They actually said it in a Comedy Bang Bang episode. But Mormons have a way of having sex without having it. It's like anal sex. It's different ways of like putting a glove over the hand. Like Mormons have a specific way to
Dude,
have sex.
Like I don't mean to like offend like any one religion or the other, but Mormons have
I do.
a way of doing a lot of things, dude, and it's not
bro,
normal.
I don't want to like put anybody down or put a religion down. I knew a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but I knew a guy that I worked with at Taco Cabana for years, and they were like, "Oh, like he's Mormon," or somebody said Jehovah, like Jehovah's Witness, and they're like, no, he's the other one. He's a Mormon. I was like, oh, okay. He was a big guy, man. He was cool. He's a lot older than me. He was like a shift manager or something. And one day we were working overnights, and he went into the walk-in freezer, and I went behind him, and I was gonna start throwing tomato. Just I was an SEO dude. I was like 16, working overnights and shit. So I went in there and followed him, and I started like grabbing lettuce to throw at him, and he bent down, and I saw he had like, it looked like chones, but they were weird. And I was just like, hey, man, I was like, what are you wearing? He's like, oh, so he explained it to me at the time. I was 16. I'm 36. So, wow, that's fucking crazy. It's a long time ago. He explained to me that it's once they get to a certain point in Mormonism or whatever, however you'd say it, they have to wear the garments of like the holy,
so they can get into heaven if they die, right? That or like the bullet, it's like, and it's bulletproof or something like that.
Something like that. And I just said like, they're controlling your undies, bro. And he laughed, and he was just like, no, it's not like that. He was just like, nobody says anything about the nuns wearing their stuff, or when Muslim women wear what are they called? The burqa?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
The thing over their face, the veil. I don't know what it's called.
Dude, but Mormonism, like, I mean, maybe this can be said for all religion or a lot of religions, but Mormonism specifically is what you get when you like give a pedophile freak a like a god suit. That's what happens.
Dude, there's sex crimes in every religion, bro. Like,
yeah, I know, dude, but man, Mormonism really has a way of like, I don't know, modernizing things, I guess.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that Jehovah's Witnesses are doing it the best. I mean, they believe either when you die, you either go to heaven or nothing happens.
Jehovah Witnesses are some of the most evangelical Christians I've ever met. And
they're like happy as dog shit. And I'm just like, man, like they seem very happy.
Yeah.
My brother, I'll fucking say it. I don't give a shit. We grew up in the neighborhood with Jehovah's Witnesses. And at one point, my brother had moved into the neighborhood Jehovah's Witnesses. They had the big Jehovah's Witnesses. They on their flyers, they always have like some kind of like house, a certain kind of house. It's like not a barn, but something along those lines. I just wanted to let everybody know that this, what is this shit called? The Delta 98. It's hitting pretty good tonight. So
Delta 30,000.
Delta 38 2040. But
that
anyways,
number, dude, take it easy. That number has to progressively grow every Tiddlecast episode.
Okay, I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be 13,080.
Okay, all right, 13,088. Okay.
But anyways, so this is Delta variant 101. No, so they have some sort of like fucking house that they make their mailboxes into and whatever. So we got into it with them because we would talk shit to the kid in the neighborhood. His name was Ariel. And we would talk shit to him, like throw him the finger when we were little kids riding our bikes, because he was always like an asshole. He would always like try to come around talking shit. And so one day we were at, he would always ride his bike. He was like 2 blocks away, and he would always ride his bike into our little cul-de-sac. We were like, what the fuck? Like, we'd be outside, underage drinking, smoking weed, whatever. And he would cruise by and like flick us off and be like, hey, fuck you. And like one night he did it. And my cousin Ricardo was there too. We didn't throw anything, but we're like, what the fuck? And our next door neighbor, this guy, Steven, he came out. He's like, you want some fucking shit? What? And this guy, Steven, He's like he's like probably 6'3". He's a big guy, big old fucking good old boy, white boy. And he came out, he was like, "You want some shit?" So, anyways, so I grew up around those guys, and apparently one of them got kicked out of the church because he came out as gay. So they kicked one of their brothers out of the church, and then he went back in, but he's got a kid. Like it was like this weird drama in that in Live Oak, bro. The drama's thick. But yeah. But I just remember that him talking to him about the religion. And
yeah, but there's a lot of that shit that goes on the Northeast side. The Northeast side is a socioeconomic experiment, in my opinion, dude.
Yeah, man, like these little like Live Oak, Texas. I was born in at Methodist.
Yeah, I got family over there, but it's crazy over there, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
you got Gunrise, you got like all those neighborhoods. It's like a white ghetto in San Antonio.
Well, like
I think there's
So the way we see it is like Live Oak and Universal. It's like it goes Shirts, Selma, Live Oak, UC, and then Converse. That's like that's how it goes.
That
Shirts,
corridor, yeah.
Shirts was always for the rich people. It's like, it's for the rich people. That shit didn't start getting big until I was older to even notice it. But Universal City was like, it's a little hood over there. Live Oak, it's like, it's got some hood spots, but it's not too bad. But once you start getting into Converse. And Kirby. And Kirby got you, dude. Kirby was rowdy. I didn't fuck around over there.
No, dude, we would play shows over there. This dude had a warehouse, or his parents had a warehouse, and they let him use it. And so he would use it to host shows. And so we would play concerts there. It was a place for people, young people to get together and play concerts. It was badass, dude. Nice little spot. Never had problems, but I did see a dude riding a car down the highway on nothing but rims, and it was sparks flying out from behind the car, and he passed us up. We're like, whoa, what the fuck? And it was I had my suspicions before, but that was the glass nail on the coffin lid. Something's wrong with the Northeast side. Yeah,
it's a little different. I like it. Live Oak and stuff. That's where that's where I grew up. We lived over on Eisenhower until I think I was about 4 or 5. We moved out of Eisenhower because we saw there's our neighbor's house. A car drove through it during the day, and my dad was like, "We got to get the fuck out of here." It wasn't like it was a horrible part of town, but I think my parents are just kind of hiding that from us. But once there was a car going through somebody's house, I was 4 or 5 years old, dude. That's one of the only memories I have of that age. It was, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Oh man.
So we got out of there and we came to Live Oak, and so we've been there since I was 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah, y'all are still over there?
No, wifey and I live in UC, wifey, I, and baby boy. Yeah, we live in Universal City. But, Live Oak is just right there.
Yeah. Hop, skip, and a jump. Well, anyway, so that documentary with Santa Muerte, and just to put a period here, it covers the veneration of this basically made up saint, but it's not made up. This is something that you mentioned a few minutes ago.
It's a real saint, yeah.
Well, it's not canonized by the Catholic Church. It is made up, but it has its origins in
that's what I mean.
The Aztec religion. And I think her name in that religion was one of the 4 gods with the 4 brothers or siblings or whatever. And her name was I'm gonna butcher this, Mictecatzihuatl. And so yeah, but she was the god, the skeletal god of the underworld. So
that was that was before the Catholic Church. That was during when the world when human
before the Spaniards came.
Yes, this is Aztec people. This is before the fucking colonization and all that bullshit happened.
But so the author basically says that yeah, it's just a modern manifestation of that, married with the image of the Virgin Mary or the Virgen de Guadalupe. So it's like a amalgamated god or figurehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but interesting. A lot of people associated with like criminals and, like you said, like the LGBT community and all that. So I always fuck up that acronym, man.
I always say LGBTQ plus because I don't, because I just know the LGBTQ, but after that I get those mixed up. So that's why I just say LGBTQ plus. I heard like who did I hear say it? Some liberal musician or some shit. I don't know. I heard somebody cool say it, so I just started saying it.
Yeah, man. Soundbite adaptations.
Yeah, my fumbling fucking words.
So anyway, I took like tons of fucking notes on this, but we're at like 20 minutes, dude. And didn't you want to talk about Lyme disease?
Yes, we can keep going, bro. We can make this one a little longer, or we can chop it in half.
Okay, I mean, either way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not in a rush. It's just I just thought it was interesting because of the association with like the criminal element in Mexico and the cartels and stuff like that. That's usually where a lot of that crazy shit comes from. And you know, there was like a dude, he wasn't even Mexican. I think he was like Cuban. I think he was Cuban and Mexican. But like he got busted with a lot of that like Santeria stuff, and it was like Saint Death mixed with like voodooism, and he had like, I don't know, he was like a Mexican mass murderer. He had something like 200 or 300 people like dead in the walls of this building that he had built. Like, you know, we have like movies about crazy cartel shit because of this guy. But yeah, I think he venerated like, and so for that reason it got a bad rap. But supposedly the religion itself is modeled somewhere in between like this the Order of the Golden Dawn style of occult ritualism and the Catholic Church. So
it seems like, yeah, just from the video clip and the little bit that I was reading before I got on here, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like a combination of like voodoo and Catholicism, because they're still abiding by the saints. They're not denying God or Jesus. They're just like, because that was the thing that always confused me about Christianity and Catholicism, because I guess it is kind of different. Because like Christians, they can just say their prayers and, you know, ask for forgiveness while they're sleeping, before they go to sleep. But when you're Catholic, I believe you have to go to confession, right? You have to do your confession, then do your Hail Marys and your beads, right?
Which for me, and I know some people hate that and that it's not, you know, canon from the Bible, but for me, like those tools, those rituals were always the thing that made like religion a spiritual event. It wasn't like I don't know, it was just people fucking talking and like, you know, hyping each other up, and like there was a mechanical, logical, ritualistic process taking place that was meant to clear your consciousness, your soul, your spirit, you know. So but by doing those things, it's making you think about, because it's like while you're doing all these Hail Marys, or I've never done confession, or I've never actually done the rosary, so I don't know. I just know from like weddings and funerals and stuff, you know, just a little bit about it. But I think it's almost like a punishment, but it's not a punishment. It's to make you like, because while you're doing that, it's like you're praying. You know what I mean? To me, if I was to have to sit there and like, oh, okay, I said fuck, I you know, sucked a dick, like I did all this bad shit. What, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just saying, it's like, okay, for that I have to do all these. If I was doing that, I'd be thinking like, man, I can't do that again, because I don't want to have to do this again. Like I don't want to have to do all this. So to me, that's almost, I agree with you, because yeah,
Christians,
unless you were one of the unfortunate souls, that took their penance in horrifying ways, you know. It wasn't just a few Hail Marys and a couple Our Fathers. You know, a lot of that. I'm sorry to take a dark turn here, but
no, you're good. Keep going.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, it sucks that, you know,
they make y'all do.
No, I'm just saying that, like, you know, some priests.
Were you touched by a priest?
Hey, dude. No, dude. No, I was not. I was like, you know what? I was gonna crack a joke about or two, but then I was like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't. Cause
Well, maybe the Catholic Church needs to fucking stop hiding their people who are doing these awful crimes and fucking
yeah.
own up to them. It's bullshit, dude.
I
Like
just meant in a way that I won't be disrespectful to the victims, but you're right. Like the fucking church needs
I'm
to
not
handle
being
their shit.
disrespectful to the victims, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't read about I was reading about it for a while,
Mhm.
and then I had to stop because I was like, man, sometimes it's selfish, but I just have to think about my house, my family, like this in this house, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to get my head out of the politics and the news and all that shit, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, sir. So, so yeah, and then when we were at La Fe earlier, buying some incense and a Muerte effigy, we saw a candle, and the candle had Jesus Malverde. Have you ever heard of that name?
I don't think so. No,
it's not popular in the United States, but it's apparently like really popular amongst like cartel employees and stuff. And so it's basically an image of a dude, and the candle's green, and he's got like a white shirt, black tie with a green coat on, and he just looks like a traditional Mexican dude from the 50s, little mustache, well dressed, well groomed, and it says Malverde over his head. And behind him, it's got like AK-47s in an X, right?
Oh, shit.
And it's like a little candle, right? Like a religious candle, and it's like prayer to Malverde. And so that one is like the lesser known, more specific to cartels saint, made up saint, whatever, what have you, but again, like whether it's made up or not, it might all be made up, I don't know. But what I'm saying is like the rituals that go with all this stuff are the catalysts that act on the quantum technology that makes magic work, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with it. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy. Fuck, man, I want to see that candle.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna get it. I was like, man, $14 for a cheap candle, like, cause it's just wrapped on.
Shit, I would have bought that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was like,
I'd never light it though, because I don't know if that brings off a stench that'll like bring the mafiosos around. You know what I mean?
And I had that thought. I was like, it's interesting, but I can tolerate La Santa Muerte because she doesn't seem specifically cartel to me. But like, I don't think that. Like, I would worry about bringing that specific, high-end energy into the house. Yeah.
I'm with that.
I mean, it's an interesting collector's item, but I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just in case.
It's like I need to get a like a little a little fucking storage unit in the backyard, just to put all that type of shit in there. My VHS tapes, candles, like, stuff like that.
Yeah. Vampire crosses.
Yeah.
So what's up, man?
Crosses.
Yeah, dude. We need to touch briefly on, like, since we're doing like conspiracy theory stuff, a little bit on like anything like that from the 80s, dude. We need to touch on some fucking media, within the theme.
Well, I feel like if we're gonna touch base on conspiracies in the 80s, I don't think they're conspiracies anymore. The drug war with Ronald Reagan. I mean,
oh, you're talking about like the narco, the Contra scheme and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dude. Like, that's like, to me, that's like a conspiracy come to light. I think probably not in full fruition of the conspiracies, because I remember reading about these years ago and just thinking like, no, that's crazy, but it could happen, because I read up on a lot of, I was super into politics, like lefty politics, and I would read about, comebacks to give to my dad about Ronald Reagan, because that's like his favorite. That at the time when I would argue with my dad, that was his favorite. And I just remember arguing with him about that. And my dad's like, don't talk about him that way. It was kind of, but I just remember watching a documentary ago about that shit. I was like, oh my God. It's like, It's crazy out there, man.
Yeah, dude, the struggle's real.
The drugs, man, in the 80s and 90s, man.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, it was
just
like,
oh,
but sometimes I wonder how much of it was just like the news and movies like hyping shit up. Because I was like just a kid, but for me, like, yeah, granted, there was like a dude that got shot across the street once, but like for me, like I felt like that fight was going on somewhere else. Like I didn't necessarily see like, you know, people dying of heroin overdoses in the street where I was, you know, and it was pretty ghetto back then, the South Side. So
well, like over here, I mean, we lived in Live Oak, so dude, like, other than like the little bit of, coke or crack or whatever, I don't think it ever got to the point where it was like an issue in Live Oak that I know of. But I've also heard stories from friends of friends talking about how they went and robbed the local grocery store or the local like convenience store
oh my god.
at gunpoint. I was just, what the fuck? And I was sitting with this dude, and he was just like, yeah, I don't remember how much time he did, but he did a good grip of time for that. I was just like, dude, it's like I didn't know that shit, but apparently it was. I don't know if it was for drugs or what, but
Yeah, so he got caught.
And then there's also a murder in Live Oak. It was on the news. Somebody killed their wife or something. It was over right by the pool, the Live Oak pool. It was a neighborhood behind it. It was crazy. I remember they blocked off that whole part of the street. Like we had to figure out some crazy way to get home. It was like cops, news cameras. It was nuts. I was probably like 12 to 14 age, I'd say. Yeah. But it was always stuff like that. It was never, oh, an apartment complex almost burnt completely down because a guy, it said it in the news clipping too. It said that he left a marijuana cigarette. He dropped it on the carpet or whatever, and it like burned down his room or shit or his apartment.
The infamous cannabis arsonist at work
Yeah,
again.
I'm like,
yeah.
okay. It's like, okay. It's like, but yeah, I remember when that happened. But nah, it was never anything crazy. Like I never feared like, because we would ride our bikes up until I was like 15, 16, all in the streets. Like my mom never had to worry about anybody snatching us up or anything. But it's fucked up around here, everywhere now, I think.
Yeah, man. It's just a reputation. I don't think like it takes like 20, 40 years for like a place to get gentrified and like drop a rep or whatever. I mean, hey, dude, Rackspace is over there, isn't it?
Kind of. That's a little like further out, but yeah, there's Rackspace is kind of by Glen, kind of that area.
Yeah.
The Walsham Glen area, but yeah, I have some family that works at Rackspace too.
Northeast San Antonio.
Yeah, we're a blast. Lolo, the hard streets of Lolo, baby.
Is that what it's called? Is that the street name?
Lolo. Wait, hold on. Lolo. Nah, that's just something Ronaldo and my older brother, made up. But no, I wanted to talk about so I had been researching this like when we first started talking about doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And I just saw like probably from like a month ago, maybe a month, 2 months ago, it just said Lyme disease conspiracy. So I was like, what the fuck? So let's see.
I've heard of crazy stuff about Lyme disease before. Like basically like that there was like a government engineered, that there's no cure, that it's an alien life form. A lot of shit about Lyme disease.
Yeah. I found my note. Okay. So it said some claim that Lyme disease was introduced into the northeastern region of the U.S. by a man-made strain of Borrelia something that escaped from a high containment biological warfare laboratory on Plum Island. However, there is an ample evidence to indicate that both Loxide ticks have. So pretty much, I'm not a strong reader, especially right now. So pretty much what I was reading about was they injected this one specific tick with this, whatever that
Lyme
started
disease,
with the
yeah.
B. Yeah, and so they didn't mean for it to get out, but it got out, of course. So I'm guessing that from what I read, that all these ticks they fucked, and now that shit is everybody can get it. That's just some of the conspiracy theories. But then I started watching these videos
But it's only
of pretty
like
much
wood ticks, right? Or like some kind of tick. Some
deer tick,
deer
deer
tick.
ticks.
Yeah.
They say it's only in deer ticks, but what I was reading was that apparently those ticks were the ones that they were testing them on. So that's why it's in deer ticks. I don't know. I just thought it was a lot cooler in my head, but maybe
It's
not.
a good thing that deers aren't fond of us. But also, like, I've heard of shit with like deers regarding what's that, the prions, like the prion disease, where these microscopic organisms, they're neither fungus nor bacteria nor what's the or viral. It's just a prion, and they like, I don't know, like there's a bunch of conspiracy theories about the origins of prions, and like it all kind of ties into cattle and anthrax and like that, like the things associated with Lyme disease.
Damn. You know what I've been watching? This weird segue. I've been watching a lot of, again, I don't know why I do this. Like I was watching a bunch of 9/11 stuff, and then I was watching Columbine again, like just doing all the research again on Columbine. It's like crazy, man.
That's traumatic, man. It's almost like not worth it to relive those moments, dude. So much bullshit like that on the news over the last 20 years has got me like basically like with PTSD. I think everybody.
Oh no, that's why I keep researching these things, because like every once in a while I'll catch myself saying like, oh yeah, I remember I was there after 9/11. And one time my brother's like, what made you think of that? I was just like, I don't know. I was like, to me, things are post 9/11.
Yeah. And now they're going to be post COVID.
This COVID shit still going on, man. It's crazy. Man, I don't like, I'm not against anybody not taking this shots. I'm not against it. My wife, myself, all my parents, like all my immediate family, we all got it. And I didn't think twice about it, but I see things now of good friends of mine saying like, "Oh, watch your." It was a funny meme. I'm not gonna lie, but it was like, "Oh, watch your liberals trick or treat candy. It might have a vaccine in it." And I was just like, "Get the fuck out of here!" But then again, I think it was like, "Why is this a liberal thing? This isn't to me. I don't think it's a political thing. Like, I don't get it." I'm just
well,
like,
I think the conservatives bait some of the dumber liberals, and then the dumber liberals bite, and then it's a political argument. Basically, we should just be ignoring the children in the room, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether they're Republican or Democrat.
I just don't like. If you don't want to get it, fine. You need to wear a fucking mask. If you don't feel well, you need to fucking go home. As if somebody has their shot as well, you still need to, abide by, the guidelines that are in place, because in Texas, you technically don't have to wear your mask anywhere unless it's like a federal building or a hospital, which most of the time is like a, state, whatever. But my thing is like, I mean, I still wear my mask, both my ex-bosses, they both had it twice, and they refused to get the vaccine. And I'm just, to each their own, but I just don't get it. But I mean, if you want to roll the dice, I just saw a young guy, like, I don't know if he was a BMXer or a skateboarder. He just passed away from COVID. He was younger than me, from what I gather. And he was not out of shape or anything like that. And I never met him. These are just like people I know that were into San Antonio skateboarding and BMXing, like reposting that their buddy passed away. And I was like, man, that kid, he's 32, 33. He's like young guy, he's
like
not overweight.
Was he locally famous or something?
I don't know. I mean, there was like, Good Times skateboarding.
Oh yeah.
It was, I think it was like from that crew, because that's my boy. That's where, one of my boys, he skated over there or not skated. He was a BMXer, and they all chilled over there. But just seeing that, it's like
I took my daughter to skate at that skate park. That's freaking amazing, dude. Like, I wish we had that shit when we were a kid. Yeah. But
man, I was never a skater. I knew how to skate, but I didn't know how to do tricks or anything like that. I would just skate around. But my thing was like BMXing. Like we didn't do crazy shit, but we would do jumps and stuff like that, you know. But it was fun just racing around. But yeah, but through that, we knew a couple guys that were really good BMXing. A couple guys.
that and you know what? There's trails for that shit too here now. Apparently, I think. Well, yeah. Doesn't Justin go a lot?
Dude, I feel like all my cousins are mad at me right now because I haven't been going to any events, man. It's just been like, if anybody listens to this, like, things were really tough these past few months, probably 5-6 months, and it's been not hard. It's just, you know, I'm not working right now. You know, I had to step down from the job that I was at because these guys weren't paying me. They weren't giving me work, and they said they were going to give me work, and I felt like I was just getting pulled along and kind of jerked off. And they gave me a check for like 8 hours for one pay cycle. I was like, what the fuck? Just give me cash. Like, what the fuck? So anyways, so I had to walk away from them. So right now I feel like the universe is like pushing me to a different path or something. So once I get this car out of the shop, I'm going to start doing like food delivery and shit like that for like Uber Eats or one of those.
Yeah, dude. Some people bank, I think, with that. It used to be easier, right? Like, everybody's competing for those positions and those, like.
Oh, dog, if you go to any of them, they all need people.
Oh, really?
ASAP. Yeah, every one of them's hiring. Like, I could start working tonight if I could just give them my insurance, what I could, but I can't give them the sticker because it's at the shop, and God knows how long it's going to take for them to fix it. But so I'm going to start doing
alone and being introverts. Then these people are like really busy right now. Do you think that means like other people are staying, you know, indoors, like working and being less social?
Yeah, big time, dude. Yeah, like people I worked with, and you know, everyone just stayed home. Like our family, we pretty much just stay home. We're not really going out to dinner and doing things like that. We're all kind of just, let's go hang out at my parents' house one evening. That's like the most we'll do. Or my wife and I will have a kid-free night, and we'll just have like a date night. Like tonight, it's just us two chilling.
This has aged us, man. Like, as
Corona?
a society.
Oh yeah.
You know, because that's the way people in Italy behaved. At least that's the way I perceived it when I lived over there. And I always thought to myself, these people are really mature, you know, like they're not going out and getting like shit-faced and acting like idiots like every single night. You know, like if they do go out to dance, it's like a formal event. Like, I don't know, like it just seemed more mature over there. And like by comparison, we were just fucking raging monkeys. You know what I mean? The Americans. I mean, it could have been because we were enlisted service members, but you know, it's probably a combination of the two for sure.
Just being out of the country, having some free time at a new place.
Yeah, man.
At that time, you're probably boozing it, you know, boozing a hard party guy.
Man. If I could go back and take all those heavy booze sessions away, I would, dude. Okay.
You know what? I would too, man. Not all of them. I had a ball, but like some of them that ended up with me like breaking a bunch of shit out of anger, like
retching your small intestines out.
Dude, all the yayo from back in the day and boozing, that shit. Woo! I regret doing all that damage to my body.
Yeah, I was throwing up like bile once. I was so fucking sick.
It's not a good look, but you know, it's the past.
Yeah. So finish Lyme disease real quick, man, because I want to know. Like, I mean, what's the
that's the basic theory. And I know I can't find it. The research I did was just a bunch of links. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. So yeah, House orders Pentagon to review if okay. Here we go, Newsweek. There it is. But yeah, there is, if you look it up, there is an actual statement that the government did in fact weaponize ticks.
Weaponized
I'm trying
tits.
ticks.
Dude, when I told my daughter, okay, like I've been waiting for this segue. When I told my daughter what we were naming the podcast, she goes, the Tiddlecast. I was like, no, the tiddle. So I had to explain it to her. She was like, Dad, people are gonna say Tiddlecast instead of tiddle. And I'm like, well, maybe we want it to work out that way.
We're gonna have to name it Tiddlecast. Oh no, that's even worse. Tiddlecast.
I don't want to know, dude. I'm too vanilla. I'm still a Catholic schoolboy, dude.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Well, then
if
what's
people
up?
could see our conversations.
No, yeah, dude, I'm definitely not a schoolboy. But what's up? Like, so what's up? What's Tiggle? Because I don't know what the fuck that is.
No, like Tiggle Bitties. You know,
Oh,
I was saying
Tiggle.
Tiddlecast.
Oh,
I was
okay.
trying to say like Tiddlecast. Maybe we should change the name of Tiddlecast. Dude, do we need to change the name?
Dude, I like it. I don't know why I like it,
but I like it too.
Yeah, it almost doesn't mean anything, which is why I like it.
All right. What Star Trek character is this?
That's the chick from the house of Duras.
Yes.
Yes, that's
you don't
a
remember
Duras.
you remember the actress. You don't remember the actress name, do you?
No, I just remember her Klingon version had a crazy overbite that I couldn't get past.
That's gonna be like a segment every once in a while when
You got a thing for her or what?
What the fuck?
I'm just asking.
No, bro. I'm just
Celebrity
when my son
crush?
gets real. No, when my son gets really pissed off and he wants a new toy, I end up just opening my Star Trek toys that I have on the wall back behind me, and I give them to him. Like he's gotten like 2 next gens. He's gotten 1. He's got a Whoopi somewhere. He's got
He's gonna be like, Dad, why did you let me open those fucking Star Trek toys? We should have kept them in the box.
He doesn't even fucking play with them. That's why they end up back in this room. Like I gave him this. This is like a brand new, like retro.
Hey, dude, it's worth the smile on their face enough, dude.
Hell yeah! Even if it's just for 15 seconds, it's all good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's the heart of life right there, dude.
Yeah. All right, I think this one had a good flow, man.
Yeah, man. I think we're good. You got anything else?
I'm gonna do more research next time. I dropped the ball on that one. I wanted to do Scientology, but I was not prepared for Scientology. So next app, I'm gonna. And you know what? A lot of podcasts do this. I don't want us to do it. We say we're gonna do something, and then we don't ever bring it up again. I noticed that on a lot of podcasts. It's like, yeah, next time you're here, we're gonna just do that. Put it on the screen, and we'll watch it together, and it never happens. So. Next podcast, I'm going to talk about Scientology. I've done tremendous research, but I need to just, I need to breathe it into my body again.
Well, good, because I have a huge question about Dianetics, and I think that's kind of related, isn't it?
Yeah, Dianetics. That's Elron fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Well, it'll be good. I'll do a little research as well. Maybe we'll get enough done to where we can just flow on that for 20-30 minutes.
I'm with it.
Cool.
I'm with it, bro. I'm gonna do it.
All right, man. Oh, what's up? Anything else?
Text me the name of that candle.
The Malverde. Yeah.
Yeah. Text me the name of that candle.
Yeah. All
right, y'all.
All right.
Outro. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Here we go.
Everybody share and listen. Rate it. We need to get it put on Apple. You need to do that.
Yeah, I do.
That's your task.
Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys back here for another episode on the next one. Cheers.
Bye.
Hang tight, bro.